Ladies and gentlemen, damas y caballeros, contrary to popular opinion, the most significant financial milestone for the average person is not $1 million or $100,000. No, the most significant financial milestone is just $10,000. Because the second you save your first $10,000, everything changes. Reaching $10,000 in savings is such a significant financial milestone because this is the moment when options start to appear, doors start to open, and you start to become more financially free. Having $10,000 saved doesn't mean that you're set for life, but having $10,000 saved is the financial milestone when things start to change for the better. And in this video, I want to explain why this is and talk about 8 things that happen to you after you save your first $10,000. And the first thing is you can cover 99% of life's surprise expenses. Now, as I just said, saving $10,000 doesn't mean you're set for life. You're actually pretty far from it. However, having $10,000 saved does mean that you can cover pretty much any surprise expense that life throws at you. Your car needs a new engine, you're covered. You need to get a root canal, you're covered. Your dog gets sick, they're covered. There are few surprise expenses in life that are going to cost you more than $10,000. I mean, the most expensive surprise expense that I've ever had happened 2 years ago when my car engine died and I had to pay $7,000 for a new engine. When you save your first $10,000, you can cover 99% of life's surprises, which gives you the peace of mind that if anything happens to you, you are at least covered financially, and that is an amazing feeling. Now, the second thing that happens to you is you can stop asking, "Can I?" and start asking, "Do I want to?" For the majority of people in this world, their decisions in life are all based around the question, can I afford this? Many people have very little money saved, and so all their decisions are based around whether or not they can afford it, which makes their life revolve around money. However, once you have $10,000 saved, your financial decisions in life begin to be based around the question, do I want to buy this? Having $10,000 saved means that you can afford most things without any negative financial implications, and so the price tag is no longer the top concern. For example, next week I am taking a vacation to Mexico with some old friends, and before I bought the ticket, the main thing I considered was whether it was what I wanted and if it would bring value into my life, and so I bought the ticket. Obviously, $10,000 can go very quickly and you don't want to blow all your money. But when you have $10,000 saved, you can start to base your life decisions on whether you want to do it rather than if you can afford to do it. And that ability makes life a lot richer. Now, the third thing that happens is you can have more fun guilt-free. Again, having $10,000 saved doesn't mean you're rich and you can just start blowing money, but it does mean that you could have more fun without any guilt attached to it. For example, imagine 2 people at a bar, one who has $10,000 saved and is paying with cash, and the other who has financial problems and is paying with credit card. The person paying with their own money will truly enjoy the experience and not worry about the money, whereas the other person will still have fun, but in the back of their mind, they will feel a bit of guilt. They won't enjoy the experience as much because they know that it's probably not the best financial decision and that it's possible that it will cause problems later down the road. People often think that saving money is about deprivation, but it's really about empowerment because when you have money in life, you can enjoy more things without any guilt being attached to it. You can have more fun doing things that you want to do and not feel guilty that you're spending money you don't have. Now, the fourth thing that happens is you have more confidence. Now, if you're a regular viewer of financial videos like this one, you know that us personalities often talk about extremely high numbers like $100,000 or $1 million. And there are so many articles and videos of people saying things like if you are between the ages of 30 to 34, the average net worth is $122,000. But the truth is, the average person doesn't have anything close to those numbers. I mean, according to some sources, 78% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, and 63% of Americans can't cover a $500 emergency expense. The average person is barely making it, and for the average person, $10,000 is a lot of money. And it's the first time you see 5 figures in your bank account. And I think that there's a very special feeling that comes from seeing 5 figures in your bank account for the first time. It's a sign that you're above average, and it gives you a sense of confidence. The richest that I have ever felt is when I saved my first $10,000 because there's something so cool about seeing 5 figures in your bank account. It's sort of a symbol that you're doing well financially, and it gives you a sense of confidence that you can't get with a 4-figure bank account. Money does give you confidence, and $10,000, 5 figures, is when you start to feel more confident. Now, the 5th thing that happens is you can say no to things more. When you boil down money, it is just a tool that gives you options in life. And those who have money have options, and those who don't have money don't have options. And having options is really about having the power to say 2 very different words, yes and no. Those are the 2 most powerful words in the world. And $10,000 is the moment I think that when you can say those words a bit more freely, because $10,000 is the number when you start to feel like you have some financial cushion. And that financial cushion allows you to tell people no more freely. If you don't want to come in on Saturday because you're going for a hike, you can say no. Whereas a person living paycheck to paycheck can't say that due to fear of what'll happen. $10,000, I think, is the moment when you start to feel a little bit more secure in life. And that security gives you options. It makes you not desperate. It gives you the ability to say yes to things you want to do and no to things you don't want to do. And it is so empowering to be able to say those 2 words with confidence. Now, the 6th thing that happens is your savings rate speeds up. Most people have trouble saving money because they have to worry about things like being behind on their bills, debt, and paying their current bills. When you don't have money saved and are behind financially, it is very hard to get ahead, which is why so many people are trapped in that paycheck to paycheck life. However, once you have $10,000 saved, you are caught up financially. You don't feel like you're behind, and because of that, you're able to accomplish a lot more financially. You can use that money you would have spent on being behind to get ahead, and your savings rate begins to speed up. It's a lot easier to save money when you have money, and $10,000 I think is the moment when you are caught up financially and you could go full force to getting ahead financially and your savings rate speeds up a lot quicker. Now, the 7th thing that happens is investing becomes less risky. For the average person, the number 1 wealth building tool that you have at your disposal is the stock market. And what determines whether or not somebody makes money in the stock market or loses money in the stock market really boils down to 2 things. The first thing is patience. Many people don't make money in the stock market because they don't have any patience. They want to get rich quick through day trading and end up losing money. The proven way to make money in the stock market is just to invest in low-cost index funds where you'll get an average return of 10% a year. However, this is slow and requires a lot of patience. The second thing is margin. And margin is basically a buffer between you and being broke. And if you don't have margin, you might sell your investments at a low price because you need cash now. Whereas if you have margin, you can hold out through the bad times because you have cash already. And I think having $10,000 in a savings account for emergencies is when you start to have a decent amount of margin to hold out during the bad times. If something like a recession happens. If the stock market tanks, you don't have to worry about withdrawing your investments because you have cash for backup. Investing is always risky, but when you have margin as well as patience, investing is slightly less risky because you have the ability to hold. And I think that $10,000 saved gives you a decent amount of margin. Now, the final thing that happens is life starts to get easier. As I explained in this video, saving your first $10,000 is a very significant milestone on many people's personal finance journey because saving $10,000 means you can cover most surprises in life. Money stops dictating your decisions. You can have more fun guilt-free. You have more confidence. You can say no more often. Your savings rate increases quicker and investing is less risky. In all of these things, make your life slightly easier. $10,000 doesn't mean you're rich, but it does mean that your life is beginning to get a little bit easier. It is the first milestone where you start to go from just surviving to beginning to feel a little bit more comfortable. You don't have the same worries and struggles that people have who are barely making it. And so if you are on your journey to saving your first $10,000, know that the sacrifices you are making today will ultimately lead to a much easier future because the second you save your first $10,000, life changes and things start to be a little bit easier. And with that, muchas gracias. Que tengan un buen día. Nos vemos, chicos.